A shattered glass spins to a stop near her shaking hand. The sound cuts through the room. Conversations die. $20. That's what the man says it's worth. As he leans forward, voice sharp, eyes colder than the glass on the floor. She broke it. She pays. The waitress doesn't move. Her fingers tremble like she's trying to hold something invisible together. I didn't. The manager cuts her off before the sentence can breathe. Of course you did. Loud. Confident. Final. People glance, then look away. No one wants to be part of this. No one wants to be next. The waitress lowers her eyes, like she's already accepted it. Like this isn't the first time. You watch the glass, the angle, the distance. Something doesn't make sense. You step forward anyway. Not fast. Not loud. Just enough to stand between her and him. That's not what happened. The manager turns to you slowly, annoyed, measured. You don't belong here, he says. Stay out of this. A pause, the kind that decides things. You don't move. The glass wasn't broken by her, but no one questioned it. You don't defend staff here unless you want trouble. And then she looks at you. Not scared, not grateful, something else. Like she sees something no one else does. You clock out when the warehouse lights start to dim, not because the shift is over, because your body is. Your hands still smell like metal and dust as you walk out into the cold air. Another night, another paycheck that won't be enough. You don't think about that yet. You think about her. Lily is waiting outside the neighbor's apartment, sitting on the steps with her backpack in her lap. 7 years old. Too small for the weight she carries so quietly. Her face lights up the second she sees you, like nothing else matters. Daddy, look. She holds up a crumpled paper before you can even say hello. A drawing. Stick figures. Always the same. One tall, one small. You and her. Every time. You kneel down beside her, forcing a smile that feels real only when she's looking at you. It's perfect. She nods like she already knew that. She always does. There used to be a third figure. You remember that, before the hospital rooms, before the quiet nights that never felt the same again. You don't say her name out loud. You don't need to. Lily doesn't either. Some things stay between silence and memory. You stand up and take Lily's hand. It's smaller than you remember every time. Or maybe the world just feels bigger now. Your phone buzzes in your pocket. Another reminder. Rent overdue. Electric bill pending. Final notice. You swipe it away without opening it. Not tonight. Tonight is different. Where are we going? Lily asks, bouncing slightly as she walks. You hesitate for a second, then you say anyway, a nice place. Her eyes widen like you just promised her the world. You don't tell her you've been saving for this all week, cutting corners, skipping meals, working extra hours, just for one night where she feels normal, where she feels like other kids. The restaurant lights glow ahead of you, warm, clean, out of place. You feel it the moment you step inside. The way people glance, the way they measure, who belongs, who doesn't. You notice things like that, small details, tiny shifts, the kind most people ignore. You don't know why you see them, you just do. And across the room, there's someone watching. A woman standing near the back, still, observing, not eating, not talking, just watching everything. Like she's waiting for something to go wrong. You don't think much of it, you can't afford to. Lily tugs your sleeve again. Daddy, I'll draw this place tonight. You smile. Yeah? She nods. This time I'll add someone new. You look at her. She looks back at her paper. And when she draws it later, there are 3 figures. But the third one has no face. That night was supposed to be simple, until everything turned. The glass is still on the floor. No one moves to pick it up. No one asks how it fell. The man leans back in his chair like he owns the moment. $20, he repeats. Slow, deliberate, like the number matters more than the truth. The waitress stands frozen, her hands still trembling. I didn't touch it, she says again, quieter this time. Like even she knows it won't change anything. The manager steps forward, not rushed, not unsure. This is familiar to him. This is exactly why we have standards, he says loudly, turning slightly so others can hear. This kind of carelessness costs us. Not her name, not her side. Just blame, clean, public, final. A couple at the next table glance over, then look back at their food. A man near the window shakes his head but says nothing. Silence spreads faster than sound. The waitress swallows hard. I can pay for it, she whispers. That's when something shifts. Not in her, in the room. Because now it's not about the glass anymore. It's about who's allowed to stand and who isn't. This wasn't about the glass. It was about power. You feel it before you think it. The imbalance. The way the manager doesn't even look at her when he speaks. The way the customer smirks like he's already won. You step forward. Not loud, not dramatic. Just enough to break the line between them. She didn't break it. Your voice isn't raised, but it lands. The manager turns to you slowly, like he's deciding how much you matter. And you are? He asks. A customer, you say. That's enough. A pause, then a small laugh. Cold. Dismissive. No, he says. It's not. He takes one step closer. Close enough that only you can hear the change in his tone. You sit down. You eat. You leave. His eyes flick toward the door. You don't interfere. You don't move. You don't sit. You just stand there. The waitress looks at you like she doesn't understand why. Why you'd risk this. Why you'd care. Check the cameras, you say. Simple. Obvious. The kind of solution that should end this instantly. But it doesn't. Because that's not what this is about. The manager's expression tightens for a second. Just a second. Then it's gone. Replaced with something sharper. People like you don't get to speak here. Not loud. But loud enough. The words hang in the air longer than they should. And no one challenges them. No one even reacts. Because everyone understands what he means. And no one wants to be included in it. You glance around the room. Faces. Eyes. Eyes. All avoiding yours. All choosing the easier side. The waitress lowers her head again. Like she's disappearing in front of everyone. Like this is normal. Like this is expected. The manager straightens his jacket. Decision made. If you have a problem, he says, louder now, you're free to leave. A threat disguised as permission. A line drawn. You feel it settle on you. The weight of it. Walk away, and this ends. Stay, and it becomes something else. The room waits, not for truth, for your choice. You look at the broken glass, then at her, then back at him. He thinks he already knows what you'll do. He's seen people like you before. People who hesitate. People who step back. People who don't want trouble. He's counting on it. You can feel that too. You could walk away. You could take your daughter and leave. Pretend none of this happened. No cost. No consequences. Just another night forgotten. Or you could stay and say one thing that changes everything. You don't raise your voice. You don't argue. You just look at him and say, check the cameras. Simple, clear, enough to expose everything. And that's exactly why he doesn't do it. Instead, he steps back and signals to security. Two men appear like they've been waiting for this moment. Sir, you need to leave. Not a request. A decision already made. You glance at the waitress. She doesn't look at you this time, like she already knows how this ends. You feel Lily's hand tighten in yours. Small, warm, uncertain. You nod once and walk out. Not defeated, just quiet. Behind you, the door closes, like it erases everything that just happened, but it doesn't, because the next morning, your phone rings. Not a friend, not a warning, your supervisor. His tone is different, careful, distant. There's been a complaint, he says. You already know. From Silverline Hospitality. A pause. They say you caused a disturbance. Harassed staff. Refused to leave. Each word feels placed. Deliberate. Clean enough to sound real. You try to explain. He doesn't stop you. But he doesn't believe you either. We can't risk this, he says. There's an extra shift opening next week, but I can't put your name on it anymore. Just like that. Gone. Not your job, but the one thing helping you stay afloat. The one thing keeping the numbers from breaking you. You stare at your phone after the call ends. No anger, no shouting, just silence. The kind that feels heavier than anything else. For the first time, you consider staying silent forever. That evening, Lily is sitting on the floor when you walk in. Her crayons are scattered around her like always. She looks up instantly, smiles instantly. Daddy, you're late. You force a smile back. Busy day. She studies your face a little longer than usual. Kids notice things, even when you don't want them to. She doesn't ask right away. She just goes back to her drawing. You sit down across from her, watching, waiting, trying to feel normal again. What are you drawing, you ask softly. Our family, she says, like she always does. You lean closer. Two figures, like always. Then she pauses, adds another one, slowly, carefully. A third figure standing beside you. You notice it immediately, but you don't say anything, not yet. She finishes the outline, then stops. The face is empty, again, like she doesn't know how to complete it. Or maybe she's waiting for something. She looks up at you, her eyes softer now, confused. Daddy, you nod gently. Yeah, she hesitates. Just a second, then asks something that hits deeper than anything from that restaurant. Why do people lie? No anger, no accusation, just a question, pure, honest, and impossible to answer the way you want to. You open your mouth. Nothing comes out, because the truth isn't simple. And she deserves simple. You look back at the drawing, at the third figure without a face, at the space that isn't filled yet, and suddenly, walking away doesn't feel like peace anymore. It feels like something else, something you can't live with. And that question was something you couldn't ignore. Before we go further, tell me this. If you were in his place, would you stay silent or fight back? And be honest, because one choice changes everything. She stands in the corner where no one looks twice, not dressed like power, not acting like authority, just another presence in the room, watching, listening, waiting. The manager moves differently when he thinks no one important is around. Sharper, louder, more certain. She notices that first. Then she notices the silence around him, the way people avoid eye contact, the way no one challenges him, not even when something feels wrong. That's what brought her here. Not the numbers, not the reports. Something else. Something she couldn't prove yet. Outside, the night is colder than it should be. You're kneeling near the curb, helping an older man gather the groceries he dropped. No hesitation, no attention, just instinct. The man thanks you twice. You shake your head like it's nothing, because to you, it is. But she's watching from behind the glass, and to her it isn't. He didn't know someone powerful was watching. She steps back inside slowly, her mind already shifting. The report is still fresh in her hand. Your name printed clearly. Complaint filed. Disturbance caused. Aggressive behavior. She reads it again, then looks back outside. The same man. The same moment. Two completely different versions of you. Something doesn't match, and she doesn't ignore things that don't match. The incident from last night, she says calmly as she walks past the manager. He straightens instantly. Yes, ma'am. Already handled. Handled. How? A small pause. Too small for most people to notice. Not for her. He was removed. Caused trouble. Harassed staff. Clean answer. Confident. Prepared. She studies his face for a second longer than he's comfortable with, then nods once, like she accepts it. But she doesn't. Not fully. Not anymore. The footage, she says. I'd like to review it. There it is. The moment. A flicker in his eyes. Gone just as quickly. Of course, he replies. But something in his voice tightens. Something small. Something real. The report didn't match what she saw. That's enough. More than enough. Because doubt for her isn't a feeling. It's a beginning. That night, Lily sits beside you again. Crayons spread across the table. She looks happier than she did yesterday. Like kids do. Like they move past things faster than adults ever can. Daddy? She says softly. You look over. She's holding the drawing again. The same three figures. But this time, she colors the third one. Still no face, but closer. Like she's trying. Like she believes something is coming. You don't understand why that matters. Not yet. But somewhere, in a quiet office you'll never see, a screen is being pulled up. A file is being opened. And a story is starting to crack. And that small detail would start unraveling everything. The room is quiet when the footage starts playing. No audience. No noise. Just a screen. And the truth moving frame by frame. The glass doesn't slip from her hand. It's knocked. Barely. A careless elbow from the same man who demanded compensation. Small. Almost invisible. But real. The waitress turns too late. The glass falls. Shatters. And the manager watches it happen. Does nothing. Says nothing. Waits. Then steps in exactly when it benefits him. The footage showed something the manager couldn't explain. She pauses the video, rewinds, plays it again. Not because she doubts it, because she wants to be certain. Truth matters differently when power is involved. She leans back slowly. The room feels smaller now. Clearer. The report sits on the desk beside her. Clean. Confident. False. She reaches for another file. The black ledger. Internal records. Complaints. Adjustments. Employee penalties. She flips through the pages. One name appears again. Then another. Then a pattern. Small deductions. Repeated incidents. Always justified. Always signed off. Always benefiting the same person. The manager. Not mistakes. Not accidents. A system. Built quietly. Maintained carefully. She closes the file slowly. Now she knows. But knowing isn't enough. She needs someone who saw it, someone who lived inside it. The dishwasher doesn't look up at first, hands moving through water that's too hot, too long, too familiar. She doesn't ask much, just one question. How often does this happen? A pause, then another. He exhales, enough that no one speaks anymore. His voice isn't angry, just tired, like truth stopped feeling useful a long time ago. That's all she needs, not proof. Confirmation? Because everything is starting to align. Later that night, she sits across from you. Not in the restaurant, not in her world, somewhere quieter, somewhere neutral. You don't ask why she called you. You just show up, like you always do. She studies you for a moment. Not your clothes, not your situation. You. You didn't have to step in, she says. You nod slightly. I know. A small silence settles between you, not awkward, not forced, real. I've seen a lot of people stay quiet, she says after a moment. Even when they knew better. You don't respond. You don't need to. She looks down at her hands. For the first time, unsure. Power doesn't fix everything, she says quietly. It just makes the silence louder. There it is. The truth she doesn't show anyone else. Not the leader, not the authority. Just a person who's been alone longer than she admits. You don't interrupt. You don't offer advice. You just listen. And somehow, that matters more than anything you could say. For the first time, she trusted someone without power. She looks back up at you, something softer now, something real. Thank you, she says. Not for what you did, for who you are. You nod once. That's enough. But somewhere else, in a different room, the manager is already moving. Faster now. More desperate. Because people like him don't wait for truth to catch up. They try to bury it first. And this time he's about to go too far. But the manager was about to make a final move. The call comes earlier than expected. Not from the restaurant. Not from her. From your supervisor again. This time, there's no hesitation in his voice. We're letting you go. Just like that. No explanation that matters. No room to argue. You already know why. The complaint didn't stop at one place. It spread, rewritten, reshaped, enough to follow you where it hurts most. You stand there for a moment after the call ends. Not shocked. Not angry. Just still. Like your body is trying to understand how fast things can fall apart. Then your phone buzzes again. A message this time. A known number. Short. Direct. Stay out of things that don't concern you. No name. No need. You already know. You look at the message for a second longer than you should. Then delete it. Because fear doesn't change anything. But it doesn't stop there. It never does. Later that day, Lily's school calls. You answer immediately. Your voice softer than usual. Careful. The way parents talk when they're expecting something small. Something routine. But this isn't routine. There's been an issue with your records, the voice says. Polite. Distant. Your payment plan hasn't been updated. If it isn't resolved soon, we may have to suspend her enrollment. Suspend. A word that feels too heavy for something so small. You close your eyes for a second. Not because you don't understand. Because you do. Perfectly. It's not random. It's not timing. It's pressure. Designed. Placed. A final move. You hang up slowly. The room feels quieter than before, but not peaceful. Heavy. Like something is closing in. He wasn't fighting for himself anymore. When Lily walks in that evening, She doesn't notice anything at first. She smiles, runs to you, wraps her arms around your waist, like nothing in the world has changed. And for a second, you wish that were true. "How was school?" you ask. "Good," she says quickly, then pauses. "Teacher said I draw too much." You smile faintly. "That's not a bad thing." She nods, then pulls away and looks up at you. Really looks this time. "Daddy, are we okay?" The question lands heavier than anything else today. You kneel down in front of her, level with her, always level. "Yeah," you say softly, "we're okay." Not a lie. A promise you haven't figured out yet. She studies your face for a second longer, then nods, like she chooses to believe you. That's what trust looks like. She goes back to her drawing. Crayons scattered again. Same paper. Same figures. But this time, the third figure stands closer. Not far away anymore. Not separate. Next to you. Next to her. She colors it slowly, carefully, like it matters. "Daddy," you look over. "Yeah?" She tilts her head slightly, thinking, then says something so simple it breaks through everything else. "Daddy, you always help people." No doubt. No question. Just truth. The kind only a child says. You look at her, then at the drawing, then back at her again, and in that moment, the decision becomes clear. Not about the job, not about the money, about her. Always her. Whatever comes next, you face it. For her. And somewhere nearby, someone else is watching that choice unfold, not as a risk, as proof. And that was the moment everything shifted. The restaurant is full again. Same lights, same tables. Same silence hiding beneath the noise. But something feels different. You feel it the moment you step inside. Not tension, expectation. The manager sees you first. His expression tightens for half a second, then smooths out like nothing ever happened. Confidence, practice, control. "You again?" he says, just loud enough for nearby tables to hear. A few heads turn. That's all he needs. An audience. You were asked not to come back. You don't respond. You don't argue. You just stand there, still, calm. And that unsettles him more than anything else could. From the back of the room, she steps forward. Not rushed, not announced, just present. And suddenly, everything shifts. Staff straighten. Conversations slow. The manager's posture changes without him realizing it. Authority has entered the room. "You said this was handled," she says. Her voice isn't loud. It doesn't need to be. He nods quickly. "Yes, ma'am, the situation was resolved." She tilts her head slightly. Resolved or rewritten. A pause. Small, but enough. A screen behind the counter flickers on. No explanation. No warning. Just footage. The same moment. The same glass. The same truth. Frame by frame. Clear. Undeniable. The man shifts in his seat. The waitress freezes again, but this time for a different reason. The manager watches. At first, confident, then confused, then something else. The moment he realized, he had already lost. "No," he says quickly, "that's not." She doesn't look at him. "Play it again." It plays. Slower. Closer. The elbow. The movement. The lie. Then the second file appears. Numbers. Entries. The black ledger. Pattern after pattern laid bare. Deductions. False claims. Repeated. Intentional. "This is internal documentation," she says calmly. "Signed under your authorization." His face drains of color. "This is a misunderstanding," he tries again. It always is, she replies. Then she steps closer. No disguise now, no distance. I am the owner of Silverline Hospitality Group. The words don't land loudly. They land heavily, across every table, across every silence that existed before this moment. And suddenly, everyone is watching, really watching, not avoiding, not ignoring, witnessing. The manager steps back. Just one step. But it's enough. Enough to break the illusion he'd built around himself. You manipulated records, she continues. You intimidated staff. You fabricated complaints. Each sentence slower than the last. Each one final. There is nothing left to explain. Security doesn't hesitate this time. They move toward him, not as support, as removal. You're terminated effective immediately, she says. And legal action has already been filed. No delay, no negotiation, no escape. The room stays silent as he's escorted out. The same people who said nothing before now don't look away, because now there's nothing to hide behind. She turns toward you, not as a stranger, not as a witness, as someone who chose. I owe you an apology, she says. You shake your head once. I don't want your apology. You pause. Just long enough for it to matter. I want fairness for everyone. No anger, no pride, just truth, the kind that doesn't need volume to be heard. She nods slowly, like she understands more than just the words. Then that's exactly what will happen. And for the first time, the room doesn't feel heavy, doesn't feel divided, doesn't feel silent for the wrong reasons. For the first time, everything was quiet again. Weeks pass quietly, not the kind of quiet that feels empty, the kind that feels earned. The bills are still there. Life is still simple, but something has changed. You don't carry the same weight anymore, not alone. Lily sits at the table again, crayons spread out like always, her small hands moving with focus, careful, certain. You watch her from across the room, not worried this time, just present. What are you drawing? You ask softly. She smiles without looking up. Our family. You walk closer, slowly, like you don't want to disturb the moment. Then you see it, 3 figures, standing together, not apart, not unfinished, together, not apart, not unfinished, together. And this time, all 3 have faces. This time, the drawing was complete. You don't say anything right away, because some things don't need words. She looks up at you, then points at each one. That's you. You nod. That's me. You smile. Then she taps the 3rd one, and that's her. Simple. Certain. Like she's always known. You glance toward the doorway. She's standing there, not distant anymore, not observing, just there. Part of something real now. Not rushed. Not forced. Chosen. You don't call it anything yet. You don't need to. Some things grow better in silence. At work, people greet you differently now. Not because of what happened. Because of who you are. Respect doesn't come from power. It comes from moments like that. Moments people remember. Moments that define you when no one is watching. Later that evening, Lily leans against you on the couch. Tired. Safe. Happy. Daddy. You look down. Yeah? She thinks for a second, then smiles softly. I like helping people too. You let out a quiet breath. Not heavy this time. Light. Good, you say. Because that's all that matters. Not what you lost, not what you gained, but what you kept. Kindness. the one thing no one could take from you. Kindness doesn't disappear. It comes back stronger. You look at her, at the drawing on the table, at the life you're still building, slowly, honestly, together. And in that moment, you finally understand something you couldn't before. Sometimes the smallest decision, the quietest stand, becomes the moment everything changes. If this story touched your heart, please hit that subscribe button and join the Just Dad Things family. Share this with someone who needs to hear it today and drop a comment telling us which moment hit you the hardest. We read every single one. Until next time, remember, you never know how one moment of kindness can change everything.